My name is Debbie Foster Arnold. I was born December 5th, 1956 at J.C. Blair Memorial Hospital. I married Larry Arnold June 28th, 1980. I've always lived in Mapleton all my life. I'm 59 years old now, so there was a few times I left Mapleton, but not for long. I've always managed to come back. But from the time I was a child, there's so many things. You know, life has changed from the time I was a child till now, but there was so many things for us to do as children. I mean, we had everything in this town, and I often wish we could go back to that. I wish my children and my grandchildren could experience it. We had stores, we had banks, we had barbershops, we had beauticians, we had our post office, we had banks, we had everything. You know, and now today it's just so different, but we were lucky. We were the lucky ones to have what we had. As a family, you know, my thing was, my dad walking me over to Newt Parker's and having a sandwich and a Coke. You know, that was a big deal.
Yep.
That was my dad and I's favorite thing to do, you know. But, and then as a child growing up, we always had the Mapleton swimming pool. We lived at the Mapleton swimming pool. That was the best thing in the world. We lived there every day, you know, in the summer. That was our thing to do. And in the winter, we sled ride. Toe Hill was the thing. I mean, they didn't plow the road, they left it go, and there was hundreds of kids over there. You know, that was the thing. We could do that. We had hundreds of kids. We made no problems. They left us do it. You just did it. You know, that was life. That we had. That's where we planned to go every time it snowed, and we seemed to have more snow back then than we do now. You know.
I think so. Yeah.
The kids would all get together and we'd go clear to the top and come clear down to the bottom. You know, never stopped, never had any accidents, bad accidents, I should say. Our next door neighbor was Ivy and Cloyd Buchanan. And they took us in like grandchildren. They didn't have children, they took us in like grandchildren. They were always trying to feed us. Or on Saturdays, we'd always go over there. And I'd go over and help Ivy clean or something. And then Ivy got me going down and reading the water meter down along the river. That was the neatest thing I ever did. She taught me to do that, and I had to report it in for when she was away or something. That was really neat. And I don't know if that tower might still be down there, but it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know that they don't use that
It's
anymore.
automated now.
It's
It's still a river gauge.
Oh, is it?
But there's an automated signal goes out over a radio wave. And
We used to have to do it like on a radio thing.
Yeah.
And but Ivy taught me to do that, and I would get out and do that. And then just things like that. But back to our families, like we kind of stuck together, you know. But then we had our friends. We'd do girls' night pajama parties, and everybody knew everybody though. We could go out at night, you know, and we weren't afraid of being hurt or, you know, things like that. Hung out at the wall in Mapleton, you know, and just things like that. We knew everybody.
Yeah.
You know, we were all friends.
What was I going to ask? Where did I put it on here? Oh, when you think back to that time period, the telephone, okay? You're a teenage female, all right? I mean, telephones had already been around.
Right.
But what do you remember about the phones back then?
Oh, the telephones, they were the old phones. You had to dial them, and you had to wait till somebody else got off the
Party
line
line.
because it was a party
Uh-huh.
line,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you pick it up and you hear somebody talk, and then you were afraid somebody was on the other end listening to your conversation. So, but that's how it was, you know. We learned to deal with it. That's just how it was. Yeah, that was funny though, the black telephones. Then they come out with the princess phones. We could get pink princess phones or things like that. I remember when I was younger, Brownie Heaster, when Brownie built his new house, he had a store down below, and I worked there. He had a store, he sold all kinds of his electrical things and piping things, but then he had, you know, medicine, like your aspirins and your things for injuries and things. Brownie sold everything. And he put me to work there when I was 14 years old after school. I worked like 3 to 7, like 3 or 4 days a week, and then sometimes on Saturdays, because Brownie knew I could use some extra money when I was growing up. And so Brownie gave me a job there, and I'll never forget that. And I worked there till I graduated from school. You know, and it was something I could do. I could walk over to work, you know, and his wife Phyllis always fed me my dinner in the evenings. You know, that was a special thing that I remember from people in town. That was just a neat thing. She'd always come down and say, I'm making dinner. Do you like this? Or would you like this? And I
Yeah.
said, whatever. And I'd sit there and I could do homework because it wasn't like it was a busy place, but people were always in and out of that store,
Right.
you know.
I still remember as a kid, Gilbert's store.
I
still being
remember
open.
Gilbert's store.
Yeah.
We'd go to walk up to our bus stop because there was a bus stop then. No, maybe it wasn't a bus stop. Maybe we just walk up by and we'd go in those stores, you know, to get, sometimes we get some candies in
Penny
there
candy.
or something. And
She'd sell those balsa wood airplanes, different
Yes.
things, odd. And I remember it was almost like walking back in history when
Yes.
you walked in there.
yes,
I mean, there was
That-
still old type merchandise around and,
yeah,
and whatnot.
that was the neatest thing. You'd go in there and spend a nickel, you know,
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
and get money from your parents and go over there.
Yep. Do you
Yeah,
remember the
that was-
buzzer when you went through the one door, that buzzer?
Yeah.
So she and her daughter lived next door.
Yeah, they did.
And I'd always hear that buzzer go off. And then after a while, you'd hear someone walking over.
Right.
You know, whether it was
Some
her
people
daughter
were
or mother.
afraid of them.
Yeah, yeah.
People
I
were
remember
afraid
that,
of them,
yeah.
but
No,
you got to know them. You know, you got to know them, and they were okay. But oh yes, the Bookmobile used to come around. Yeah, we used to get books. We could get books and rent them until they came back.
It's not hard for people to understand now that you get things online.
Right.
Or you have libraries. But back then, as a kid, it wasn't that easy just to pick up and head off to the county library.
Right.
So they
Right.
brought the library to you.
Yeah, they
which,
did. And you know the other thing when you say Mobile, I thought about. Do you remember our ice cream truck that used to come? The green
Yeah.
and white truck. We used to get ice cream. It was the best ice cream ever. We'd always wait.